Welcome to the second part of my video about acne. I'm now talking about underlying causes of acne, and of course if you want to cure anything you really want to know what it's caused for so that you can address the causes. And here we are talking about dysbiosis. Now, if you have ever read any message I posted anywhere on internet, if you have seen any of my videos, you will see I always talk about dysbiosis. So if you are one of those people who don't understand what dysbiosis is, well, listen to this part now. At least the first 5 minutes will be about dysbiosis. So there are 1,000 different species of microorganisms living inside a healthy gut. From your lips to your anus, there are several meters of intestinal tract, and inside there lives a huge number of microorganisms, at least 1,000 of different species. And actually those microorganisms, the cells of them outnumber our cells of our body huge number of times. So in terms of number of cells, if you would compare it with humans, actually we are far more not humans, we are far more microorganisms than humans, though of course those cells are extremely small compared to our body cell. So actually most of the weight of our body is us. So by weight we are us, by number of cells, yeah, we are microorganisms, we are something else. So those microorganisms, especially inside our small intestine and large intestines, they have to be in pretty good balance with each other. I mean, most of them are in a large intestine, and being in perfect balance with each other, it means that just each one of them occupies certain percentage of the space. So when a part, let's talk about microbiome also, define the microbiome. Microbiome is just a word that, for example, explains all of the microorganisms living in some area. So, for example, you have microbiome of your mouth, you have microbiome on your skin, and you have microbiome in your large intestine. So, microbiome actually can get affected with, for example, antibiotics, for example, vaccines, for example, other prescription medications, for example, pesticides, chlorinated water, food poisoning, just about any way. There are thousands of ways how you can really affect microbiome. But when microbiome has been affected beyond the ability of it to return to its original state, that's what we call chronic dysbiosis. So there could be a chronic dysbiosis on your skin. The result of chronic dysbiosis of your skin could be actually a skin infection, because there are a huge number of microorganisms living naturally on your skin, and they are actually not just parasites there. They are in symbiotic relationship with your skin, and they are helping your skin immunity. Once you remove them from your skin by, let's say, using antibacterial soap, what happens is that something else might occupy the space that they have been occupying, and that's what we would call dysbiosis. So official definition would be like when intestinal flora has become deranged, when normally denominating species becoming underrepresented and normally outcompeted or contained species increase to fill the void. That's the definition of dysbiosis. In simple terms, dysbiosis is an imbalance between normal denominating species of microorganisms and a normal outcompeted species of microorganisms, which usually fill the void when the numbers of the normally denominating species have been shaken. When people start taking vaccines, antibiotics, artificial hormones, hormonal birth prevention, other medications, other products of chemical industry like pesticides, fungicides, uh, taste enhancers, fruit preservatives designed to kill microorganisms, chlorinated water, chlorine is added to the water in order to kill microorganisms, pasteurized and sterilized food. Food is pasteurized and sterilized in order to kill all of the microorganisms, so that microorganisms, when we eat that kind of food, we don't bring new microorganisms to our stomach, which has been actually done through the millions of years in the past. A traditional human haven't been eating pasteurized or sterilized food. For billions of years, your ancestors have been eating food loaded with microorganisms, and that's how our body is supposed to function. That's the blueprint of our body. That's the user manual of our body. If you put wrong batteries into an electronic device, if you don't read the manual, if you put the wrong batteries, it's not going to work properly. If you put wrong food into human body, which has a user manual that tells us that we have to eat the food that our ancestors have eaten for the last 100,000 years, when you change that suddenly during the last 50 years, of course something's going to happen, and that something ain't going to be good. So this is just an example of how intestinal dysbiosis happens. So you have reached the state of chronic intestinal dysbiosis once your digestive tract is unable to naturally reestablish the perfect balance. The major and the most dangerous consequence of chronic intestinal dysbiosis is increased intestinal permeability, which leads to food intolerance and food allergies. Okay, so the most simple symptom of intestinal dysbiosis could be a diarrhea or constipation. Okay, once the thing you have eaten starts going too fast through your intestine or too slow through your intestine, that's the first sign that something is out of balance. Okay, but next step is actually increased intestinal permeability, and that's the next thing I'm going to explain to you what it is. In severe cases of dysbiosis, people develop severe diseases, and severe diseases are, for example, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, colon cancer, diverticulitis, or, for example, infection of Clostridium difficile, which is a bacteria that can kill you. Well, so this is just a short story about dysbiosis, which is then linked to the next subject, very important, and that's called increased intestinal permeability. Healthy intestines are supposed to be partially permeable. Intestinal permeability is a term describing the control of material passing from inside the gastrointestinal tract through the cells lining the gut wall into the rest of the body. Food that has been properly digested inside our intestine is supposed to be absorbed by intestines, and then when it's absorbed into the bloodstream of the intestines are supposed to carry this food to the liver, which is then supposed to process it. The liver is a chemical factory of our human body. When the intestines are working properly, they are absorbing only small molecules, like, for example, molecules of water, molecules of digested food, molecules of minerals, molecules of amino acids. Amino acids are building blocks of proteins. Our body will use amino acids to build proteins, to build muscles, to build the nails, to build the hair, to build the bones. Our bones are built of proteins. So, amino acids, then we have also fatty acids. Fatty acids are building blocks of fat. Fat in our body is used for just about everything. Almost every cell of your body contains some fat or something made of fat. So there is fat in your bones, fat in your bone marrow, there is fat in your muscles, fat in your cells, there is fat in your blood. There is cholesterol everywhere, and cholesterol is made of fat. And also, another thing that our intestines actually absorb is simple sugar. Simple sugars are used to build more complex sugar. Complex sugars is how our body sometimes store energy inside our liver in form of glycogen. So, microorganisms which live in our intestines, they have a function to aid digestion. But not only that, they also help keep your intestines healthy and help keep correct intestinal permeability. And once the balance between microorganisms has been destroyed beyond the ability to be spontaneously repaired, then some new microorganism just might actually take the place that was previously occupied by the good ones. And classic example of that is a fungal form of Candida albicans. And Candida is one of the bad microorganisms, but there are plenty of them. There is far more bad ones than the good one, actually. So, once they occupy your intestines, the ground has been set for the creation of increased intestinal permeability. When you have microorganisms in your intestines that aren't supposed to be there, they produce toxins. Those toxins destroy, for example, the cell lining of your intestines, increase intestinal permeability. It's like destroying a filter, you know. Cell intestinal permeability, it's like a filter of a human body. It filters what comes in. Once you destroy the filters, too big particles come in, you got a problem. If you watch my video about allergies, you will actually understand how intolerances and allergies are directly linked to this thing. What happens is, like, certain things that you consume get absorbed into your bloodstream in a form that they shouldn't be. Proteins get into your bloodstream when they shouldn't come in that form. Or sugars get into your bloodstream when they shouldn't come in that form. And when they do, they cause trouble. They cause immune reaction, and that immune reaction, when caused more than once, might lead to development of intolerance and might lead to development of allergies. And as we have already spoken about that, there is a strong link between food intolerance and acne. In huge number of people, there is a direct link. And then there is indirect link. For example, let's say you clearly see the evidence of your acne being affected by your hormones. You're a woman, you have a menstruation, your menstruation there makes hormones go up and down during the cycle of, let's say, 28 days, and during the different part of your menstrual cycle, your acne break out. Your conclusion is, it's hormonal. There is nothing I can do about it. I can take some hormones. But what does it actually mean it's hormonal? Why is your body producing too much of one hormone and not enough of another one? What is the real meaning of that? It's hormonal. Well, the real meaning of that is actually it's your liver and it's your kidneys. You see, the function, or one of the functions of your liver, is to break down hormones flowing through your blood. One of the functions of your kidneys is also to break down and excrete hormones that are found inside your blood. When those two organs are not working at their peak, and peak is 100%, and 100% is how they are supposed to work, Think about car engine that works properly. It works at 100%. It's just able to give any power you need from it. Well, that's how your liver is supposed to function. That's how your kidneys are supposed to function. They are supposed to give what's needed. And what's needed is, when there are too much of some hormones, they should regulate. So, once you see acne breaking out on your face in correlation to your menstrual cycle, that's the warning sign that your liver and your intestines and your kidneys have been negatively affected. Your liver is not working properly, your intestines are not working properly, your kidneys are not working properly. So I guess now you have an idea, more clear idea about how you develop the state in which you are. Now, I didn't still explain to you all the details what happened to your liver, because the liver function is related to the increased intestinal permeability. You see, when you keep bombarding your liver with too much of bad stuff entering your bloodstream through your intestines, which has become like a Swiss cheese, your liver get overloaded, and once you overload your liver, it can't function the way it's supposed to. So the problem here is that if you have problem with dysbiosis, that problem can lead to permeability, and permeability can lead to increased liver problems with liver and decreased liver function, and it can also lead to the problems with, for example, food intolerance, which is directly again linked to the liver. Now, what is the link between food intolerance and the liver? Food goes from your intestines into the liver. If liver can't handle what comes in, that's the first beginning of intolerance. Okay. So what is your liver supposed to do? Well, your liver is supposed to take anything that's your intestines have taken in, and if it's in any form of or shape harmful to your body, your liver is supposed to make it good again. It's extremely complex chemical factory that's supposed to turn anything that's bad, that's been absorbed by your intestines into your blood. It's supposed to make it good. How do you know that your liver is unable to do this job? Well, look in the mirror. If you see acne on your face, if you see anything on your skin, be it acne, be it folliculitis, be it eczema, be it psoriasis, then your liver is not doing the job that it should. So why isn't liver doing that job? Simply because it has been overpowered by too much. If your intestines have huge hole on them and are letting too many things in, after some months, after some years, your liver is simply say, I can't handle it anymore. I'm sorry. I've done my best, but I can't do anymore. And when the liver can't do things anymore, that's when you get the problems of skin diseases, for example. There are many other problems people can get. So, in order now to cure your acne, you have to start curing where it all started. And generally, it all started with dysbiosis, with increased intestinal permeability, and with your liver. So, here are the things we are going to cure now. We are going to cure liver function. We are going to cure intestinal dysbiosis. We are going to cure increased intestinal permeability. We are going to cure food intolerances, which are linked to the previous one. We are going to cure allergies, which are linked to the previous one. And we are going to cure impaired stomach digestion. Okay, so I've already spoken about that. Your stomach is the one of the main first places where food comes in after your mouth, and there it's supposed to be treated with strong hydrochloric acid, which when it treats proteins properly and fats properly, it actually aids all the digestion that happens after it. When the hydrochloric acid, is too weak in your stomach, and its effect on proteins and on sugars and on anything else you have eaten is simply too weak, it affects all of the rest of the digestion, and it also affects and increases chances for your dysbiosis. So, just as dysbiosis can affect stomach function through the problem of malabsorption of certain nutrients, stomach function can increase dysbiosis. How does that work? There are, you know what, for example, what essential nutrients are? Essential nutrients are vitamins and minerals that we have to have. There is certain amount of vitamins and minerals that we should be absorbing on the daily basis from our food if we are consuming any food. If you are just drinking water and not consuming any food, you know, your need for vitamins and minerals is minimal or zero, at least for a certain amount of time, limited amount of time. But if you're consuming foods, your body expects to get certain kind of essential nutrients from that food, and examples are vitamins A, B, C, D, E. Examples are minerals like sodium, potassium, calcium, phosphorus, and examples are, for example, fatty acids, essential fatty acids, ALA, GALA, LA. These essential fatty acids are something we have to get from food our body can't create. Stomach is extremely important in this process. When stomach hasn't done its job in digesting food, it will affect the rest of the digestion. And when the rest of the digestion is poor, we can't absorb properly, for example, vitamins. And when vitamins are not properly absorbed, it in turn affects stomach function, because stomach, in order to function properly, need certain vitamins, need certain minerals, need something that is needed to create hydrochloric acid and its function. And that's the kind of vicious cycle we have here. So I will stop now with the video part number 2, and the rest of this video you can see on my video about acne in a part number 3. This is now just the end. Okay.